Alright, what's going on, guys? Of the Ice here, and today we are here for Season 2 of this Quebec Nordiques franchise mode in NHL 26. And in today's episode, we'll be doing, just like we did in last episode, just simming the full season and then doing the off season. And then that's where the video is going to end. So before we start, I just want to say thank you to my friend Nick for giving me tips um, for the videos and the franchise mode as well. I appreciate it. So right now we're at the start of the year, starting the season at home against Chicago. I'm going to show you guys our lines. I decided to do a little bit of tweaks since the overalls there was more growth during the offseason. So first line is Drouin 85 with Frederick 86 and Alexander Holtz 86. Bjorkstrand 84 with Kotkaniemi 85 and McMahon 84. So I really like that top six. You got the sniper, playmaker, power forward uh, combo on every lines. Then third line is Reichel 83 with Barrett Ain 84 and Mercer 87. So Mercer is going to be deadly on that third line. And then fourth line is Pelche 80, Beecher 80, and Baines 79. So I really like that line as well. I decided to put most of our guys on their one-timer side. Um, just because I feel like it's a good way to play hockey in real life. I like it. The OVs and all those guys that are just playing on their offside. I really like it. So defensively, we have Ferraro 84 with D'Angelo 84. I like that duo as well. I think it's going to be solid for us. Stanley 82 with Lundqvist 81, and then Grizzlick 81 with Hallison 81. I feel like our defensive core is well built, pretty weak but well built at least. Um, then let me show you guys our power play. So we've got basically our first line with D'Angelo and Mercer as well on top to give him those extra minutes since he's only on the third line. PP2 is basically our second line with Reichel and Lundqvist. Then Foreman power play 1 is D'Angelo with our first line. Foreman power play 2 is Lundqvist with our second line. Penalty kill, I have Kakaniemi and Holtz. I just feel like they're very solid defensively, and I feel like on PK1 they can bring that offensive touch as well. Score those rare PK goals. They're playing with our first pair. Then PK2 is our second pair with Mercer and Aiden. I think that could be deadly as well in the PK. And then Beecher with Reichel, then Grizzlick with Hallison. Another very good penalty kill line. Beecher could be a little bit more solid defensively, but he's elite in the faceoffs, and Reichel is solid too. So, for the kind of team we are and the way we're built, I feel like this is pretty solid because we're not the best team. 3-man PK1, we got Barrett Ain with our first pair, then we got Mercer with our second pair, and then Beecher with our third pair. Mercer is not the best in the face-off, but he can play center, and I feel like he's good enough in the face-off to survive there. It helps with our chemistry. So then extra lines, 4-on-4 is Drouin and Holtz, Ferraro, D'Angelo. Playmaker, sniper, and Drouin can play center, so it's not too bad. Then Kakaniemi with Bjorkstrand with our second pair, basically same thing, playmaker, sniper. And then 4-on-4 line 3 is Frederick with McMahon, a little bit of physicality there, can bring offense, solid defensively too. They're playing with our third pair there. And then 3-on-3 is basically the same lines, it's just defensively it's only one defenseman, so it's D'Angelo, then Lundqvist, and then Grizzlick. So that's solid. And then extra attacker, we got Pelche and Baines. Since they don't play on special teams, I put them there. So whenever there's a guy in the box, they can opt there in special teams, and they're decent defensively. So I think that's solid. And then shootout, we got D'Angelo, Kakaniemi, then Mercer, then Holtz, and then Bjorkstrand. And then in net, we got Montembeau 83 and Maryline 81. Montembeau is on his last year, and it's going to be his last year. I'm not going to re-sign him. And then I signed Mitchell, Riddick, and Brock McGinn for just to be cap compliant, just to reach a floor. So when it comes to the NHL team, I wish the chemistry would be higher. We only have a +1, and on defense, it's good chemistry at least, +3 across the boards, but definitely not ideal. But again, I'm not expecting us to be super competitive. I think with this offense, I think we could potentially get a wild card spot, but I expect us to finish right around where we did last year. So Then AHL wise, I'm not going to spend too much time here because it's just, a bunch of scrubs, but you guys can take a look real quick. Defensively, not too bad either. And then the good thing about this team is we have Yakimov's there. He's literally a bright spot. So definitely going to be an interesting season for us. Again, before I start the sim, I'm just going to take a look at our prospect pool. We had a good draft last year, or in the off season. We got Villeneuve, Dagenet, going to be very solid. Rubrek. So, Dagenet, Rubrek, future second liners for us. Villeneuve, top pairing defenseman. And then got our franchise goalie, but we're definitely still weak in terms of superstar. Villeneuve is going to be elite, but he won't be a superstar. Dagenet is going to be an elite second liner. Same thing for Rubrek. We got the franchise goalie, but yeah, again, we need those superstars. So this year, we're definitely gonna hope that we can draft a really good player in the draft. There's two very solid players in the top two. Not expecting to finish there, but sometimes you get lucky with the lottery. So I'll start the sim right now. And I'll just show you guys when we do something. We are at the trade deadline right now, sitting 7th in the Atlantic. It was it looked like we were gonna have a really good pick at the draft, and then during the month of February, we went 11-2. So still 7th in the Atlantic, but much higher standing wise. In the Central, we would be close to the playoffs. We're not even that far from a wild card, even in the East, but like it's pretty insane. A couple things here that I want to look at is before we get into the deadline. Sorry, I want to see how our team is doing because I know it was disappointing defensively. So goaltending wise, nothing to say. Pretty good. Defensively, it's the plus minus that's looking rough, but stat wise, I don't hate what I'm seeing. I'm scared the Ferraro is gonna drop a bit, but it's only a 2-year deal. I'm not scared. Bjorkstrand is having a solid one. Holtz is having a solid one. Mercer is a little bit disappointing. He had a good month at least, though. It seems like. Sorry, not playoff stats. I want to see split stats. Or, yeah, last 10 games, 11 points. In February, 11 and 13, yeah. So he's been good, but he wants a lot of money, and I'm scared he's going to drop in the offseason. So potentially, if I see that there's something good I can get, I might trade him right now. Drouin is solid. Reichel is solid. McMahon is not too bad. Fourth line is doesn't look too good, but I mean it's to be expected. Kotkaniemi's looking good. Frederick is looking okay. Bert Hayne on the third line. I mean 21 points plus one. I'm not too mad at that. Beecher is looking okay. Style wise, yeah, it seems like we're doing okay. I mean, not really, but it's like it's to be expected. That's what I was expecting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a look around the league if there's anything available, and if I see that there's something worth it, I'll show you guys. First of all, we're one of the teams that scores less goals. We allow a lot of goals. Our special teams are just incredible. Our PK is first in the league. Power play is third. So it's an interesting year. It's a little bit weird, but yeah. So let me take a look around the trading blocks, and I'll see you guys if something happens. All right, so here I'm trying to make a trade with the Seattle Kraken, sending Dawson Mercer, 87-25 medium top six, Afri Tain to Seattle, as I said, for Shane Wright, 81-23 low elite, hasn't been playing all year, has been a healthy scratch, so I would pick him up, see what he can do for us. With that, I'm taking the rest of Philip Grubauer's contract for this year, making almost $6 million, and he's 81 overall. And on top of that, I'm getting a Minnesota second round pick in this year's draft. Should be a late second round pick. I feel like Dawson Mercer is like the perfect fit for a Seattle team. They're interested. He's young. He's the kind of player they would want. He's the lead defensively, very good skater, good shot, good offensively, good physicality. He's just very like well-rounded. He just wants a little bit too much money for me. He's looking for a 4-year deal at like 8.2 million. Probably could get him at around 6.5 to 7 million. If I really want to get him lower, maybe with a no move clause, all of that. That's how I would get him to that number. But still, I don't want to pay him that much. I was thinking around that 6 mark max, probably more in that 5.5 range. He's just too good to be a third liner, but he's not going to be a top sixer for me. He's been having a disappointing year. He's probably going to drop a bit. I don't know. I'm not taking that chance. Maybe he can have a good rest of the year for Seattle, keep his overall. I think Shane Wright can be a very solid piece of this future. A future second line of Dagenet, Wright, and Rubrek could be very, very solid. If not Shane Wright, if he develops properly, he could potentially become a first liner. You never know. So for the rest of the year, he's going to take Mercer's spot on the third line most likely, unless I make another move. But I think this is a fair deal. Let's talk for it, see what they say. The deal will go through. I'm not gonna ask for more because I feel like that's a fair deal, and it's a done deal. This seems like a sweet proposal on their end. So on behalf of the Seattle Kraken organization, I accept. So Mercer is officially on the move. Thank you for what you brought to this team for a year and a half. But at some point, just you can't do much. So let me figure out this line thing, and I'll show you guys if something else happens. So right here, I'm trying to extend Shane Wright to a 7-year deal. I would give him a 12-team no move / no trade clause, 6.5 million salary. He wants 3.5, but I'm not gonna start fleecing. I'm trying to be realistic. That's 6.3% of the cap. Usually, an elite second liner, I give around 6.5% of the cap. So I think that's not too bad. I'm basically giving him elite second line money. Maybe not elite second line, but high hand second line. I think it's fair considering the fact that he's not super interested in the organization. Giving him that kind of money, just shows that I'm serious about him. That contract is going to expire basically when he's 30, because he just turned 23 like a month ago. So right when he's going to be 30, he's going to be in his prime. If he wants a lot of money at that point, he can get the bag, or like just whatever he decides to do. He's going to be in his prime, which is what matters. So we're going to offer him that. Hopefully he says yes, because I think that could be a really good contract. Oh, he said yes right away. So we got him. There's more extension I was looking that I was interested in giving out, sorry. So John Beecher on a 2-year deal. I mean, he's been a solid 4C. Let's go at 2 years, 1.5 million. Hopefully he says yes to that. Grizzlick, I'm probably not interested in bringing back. Same thing for Bjorkstrand. Drew Hellison's been a solid bottom pairing guy for us. We'll do 1.6 for 2 years. I think that's fair. Then Archdeep Baines has been a solid fourth liner. If not, he can be an elite HLer as he wants 2 years. What about a 2-way contract at 1 million? Let's do that. Weisblatt can be a solid fourth liner if he grows a bit. We'll have to give him a 1-way. Give him 1.1 for a year. Or let's do 1 year at 1.1. Let's not start giving him too much. Kalen Haddison. Oops. So what, I can't extend him or something? I'm just confused because he was expiring. Alright. I don't have the option. What? It says I already have an offer to him. Oh, that's a glitch. I don't know why. I didn't even do anything. Then goalie-wise, Montembeau, I'm not interested in bringing back. Unsigned-wise, we have no one. So that's good. Now after the Shane Wright trade, I'm going to show you guys our lines really quickly. So Shane Wright is going to slot in at third line right wing for the rest of the year. Then we'll figure out the situation. The rest of the line stays intact. Shane Wright is going to be playing first power play over where Mercer was. Penalty kill wise, I put Frederick to replace Mercer at that spot. And extra line wise, I'm giving Shane Wright 4-on-4 line 3 and 3-on-3 line 3 with Trent Frederick. I'm giving him shootout shooter number 3. And that's pretty much what I'm giving him. So he should play around 15 to 16 minutes a night, I would say, which is solid. He hasn't played all year anyway, so you don't want to give him too many minutes at first. But he's solid physically. He's got a solid shot. He's got good hands. Defensively could improve a bit. Face-off wise could improve. He's got good speed. I think this guy could really become like an elite second center. So I like what I'm seeing here. So I don't think we're gonna end up making more moves at the deadline, but let's just hop in there, see what happens. But unless there's someone like that's a no-brainer, I'm not gonna do anything. So let's just see real quick. Tippett is solid, but again, he's 28. It's nothing crazy. Wallstead would be good, but I already have my franchise goalie, so there's just no point there. Let's just take a quick look. Preston is solid, but again, I don't really have the assets. Some solid medium sixers there, but no point. So we'll just exit the trade deadline. We'll take a look at who was traded where. And I thought I had that glitch where I was stuck on the screen after the deadline. We're good. So let's just take a look at the trades that have happened, and after that we'll just start the sim again. So let's see. So the Mercer trade for us. Batherson is now a Leafs for 2 second-round picks. What a trade by the Leafs. Ottawa trading him to the rivals as well, so that's kind of stupid. Noah Hoslin to Seattle for a third, Milano and Mayers. It's not too bad. I think that's a buy low for Seattle for a guy that could become a solid bottom sixer. Ratzlaff could become a backup, you never know. Sean Durzi to Toronto, back to Toronto for 2 second-round picks. Solid deal by both teams. Sheeloffs to Columbus for Charlie Hellick, a third, and Gardner, the goalie. The solid. I would say Columbus, I don't know. I don't see what's the point of making that deal when you have Andreanov coming up and Jed Greaves is a good guy for now. Giving up Charlie Hellick, who could become an elite bottom pairing guy, a third, and a solid future backup. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. Solid trade for Pittsburgh, I would say. They have a ton of goalies, so Nick Jensen to Tampa with a third and Martin Paolo for a second, a fifth, and a prospect goalie. Solid deal for both teams, I would say. Tampa gets a solid veteran for a playoff push. Martin Paolo can be a solid bottom pairing guy. They got a third as well. They don't give up a lot of picks. Greentree to Utah on the move again for Heckman Larson. I don't see why the Rangers would do that, but solid deal for Utah. I don't know that deal. Montreal acquires David Kempf in a third for basically David Kempf for Radkov in a fifth. They have a ton of goalie prospects. I mean, if they needed him for a bottom six, I feel like that's a solid deal. Trouba to Ottawa for a third, a fifth, and Cali Yarncrook. I would say that's a solid deal for both teams. Ottawa gets a solid veteran on defense. They don't give up a ton. Pittsburgh still get a pick for a guy that hasn't been playing well for them. I looked at his stats earlier. Colton Sissons to the Islanders with a fourth for a second and a third. Good trade by Ottawa. Not a bad deal by the Islanders either. Kasperi Kapanen, a third and Susi for Alphonse Frey and Nathan Fleury. So they get a medium top four for Kapanen. It's not too bad. Warren Fogle to Washington for a second, and Matejko. That's actually a solid deal. Matejko is like, what, a high 9? Fogel's like 86 overall. Solid deal for both teams. Nick Schmaltz to St. Louis for Wazelin, Buchinger, and a fourth. I know Wazelin is like a medium 6. I don't know about Buchinger or whatever his name is. He's Wozniak to Philly for a third, Hathaway, and a 6. I'm not a big fan of that deal for Vegas, unless they win the Cup. Andrew Kopp is on the move. Nashville gets a couple thirds. Not too bad. Eric Howlett to Minnesota for a medium 6 prospect. Solid deal for both teams. Nashville is full on selling. I'm a little bit confused. They're in a playoff spot right now. Charlie Coyle to Buffalo for a second round pick. Kevin Hayes back to Pittsburgh for a second and a third. I don't like that deal. And then Kevin Stenlin with a fourth to Nashville for Perbix and a third. I like that deal for for Detroit. So that's pretty much it for the moves. We're still waiting for our extension answers, and yeah, so I'll just show you guys when we get answers on that front. All right, so just a day later, Hellison said yes, Beecher said yes, Baines said yes, Wiesblatt said yes. So we got those contract signs. I'm pretty sure those were the only guys, or are we still waiting on someone? Let me just double check. We have the Kellen Haddison glitch one. It's been like that the whole season, so I'm just confused why it does that. I signed him when he was an RFA, but it did that. I don't know why. I think maybe what happened is I probably offered him a contract when he was an RFA, and he just signed his RFA contract at the same time, most likely. So it kind of fucked up the system. I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm just gonna sim the rest of the year, and I'll see you guys at the end of the year. All right, so the season is over. We finished with a record of 38, 38, and 6. So right around where we were last year, literally 82 points in 82 games. So I would say we had a solid year. If it wasn't for our win streak in February, we would be like a lot lower. I wish we could have been a little lower. I want to have a good pick. I hope we can still have a good pick. We'll see. So let's look at league-wise. Okay, league-wide. Okay, 33, 32. We finished 26th. That's not too bad. That's why 8th last. Yeah, 8th last. So like, yeah, let me just see my man. Okay, so what did I want to look at? Oh yeah, so let's look. Goals for per games. We were definitely lower mid of the pack, I would say. And goals against per game, we were definitely one of the worst team. Power play wise, we had the third best power play in the league. Seems like we didn't get a ton of power plays though, so like it's not the most impressive. Probably realistically, it would have been like top 10, probably not top 5 if we would have gotten a lot of power plays. Still pretty impressive. PK wise, we were by far the best, and we took a lot of penalties too, so pretty impressive. Home record was let me just see. 2019 and 2, away was 18, 19 and 4, so very similar. Better at home, but not a big difference. Shorthanded goals for, we were at 3, which is not a ton, but not too bad. Then let's look at the player stats. Sorry, so we definitely had down years for most of our guys, but I would say still pretty solid overall. So goalie wise, Montembeau with a 915, 55 games. Happy for him. He's gonna grow. Should get a good contract in free agency. Marilinen, solid stats as a backup, 908. Not too mad about that. Sorry. D'Angelo, 57 points. Last year only had 46. A lot less goals though, but I'm still pretty happy overall. Lundqvist 32, Hellison 22, very solid. Ferraro 22. The plus minus looks bad, but overall this team played well. Stanley 20, Grizzly 18. Stat wise, I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing. Alexander Holt 53 points. Last year I had 48, 26 goals compared to 17. Pretty solid. I would say he's not a true first line sniper, but like he's doing his job as a guy that just has that role as of now. Bjorkstrand 85 overall now, 46 points, 20 goals. Not too mad about that. Solid year overall. Left wing Drouin 60, so 12 less points, but similar amount of goals. I would say defensively it was not as many takeaways, but a lot less risky with the puck, I guess. A lot safer. Played 2 less minutes per game. So I would say overall he had a similar season. Probably slightly worse, but not by that much. Reichel, 42 points again. He's producing really well on the third line. I'm happy with what I'm seeing. He's very good defensively. I'm really happy with him. McMahon had 40 points on the second line. It's not too bad. I'm actually happy about that. I'm happy with that. 40 points. Very good defensively. Again, 1 more year, 3 million. Should see some kind of growth, I would assume. Pelletier, 20 points on the fourth line. That's not too bad. I would say he's playing his role well. Very good defensively. Okay, I'm really happy with Pelletier's season. Defensive awareness went up. Shot blocking, stick checking should be a... Wish it would have been a little higher, but again, he played well, so that's what's good. Baines, only 9 points. Not too bad defensively. I would say he's a good role... just, I guess, a filler in the sense, like, he's not like a true fourth liner, but I don't mind having him there for now. Kakaniemi, 54 points. Down year defensively, but still solid. Offensively, slightly down. More goals, though. I would say overall he had a very similar season. Solid 2C. Frederick, 51 points. Definitely not as good of a year. Defensively was elite. Elite. I mean, I'm capping a bit, but yeah, slightly down offensively, I guess. Slightly better offensively. Similar year, I would say. Barrett Hayne with 26 points on that third line. I'm not too mad about that. Maybe a slightly more points would have been nice, but you know, he's playing 12 minutes. Positive takeaway giveaway ratio. I'm happy with that. Beecher, 22 points as a 4C. Positive takeaway giveaway. Defensively, yeah, very similar stats. Offensively, similar as well. He's just seems consistent. Shane Wright, 10 points in 20 games for us. 3 goals, 7 assists. Only -3. Considering the fact that we lost quite a bit after the trade, I'm kind of happy. Defensively, basically, one giveaway, one takeaway, you know. So 9 giveaways, 8 takeaways. I guess just when he gets a takeaway, he gets a giveaway right away, I guess, technically after. So that's not too bad. Block shots 8, hits 10. Face-off wise, didn't take a ton of face-offs, but you know, 6 face-offs, 50%. That's not too bad. Only played 12 minutes. That means we didn't get a lot of power plays because I was expecting him to play a lot more than that. So overall, pretty happy with this team. Let's just look at our AHL stats really quickly. From our center, Strange is the right wing, but still very solid. Left wing, very solid. Trinia, very solid. He's a guy I'm probably gonna put in a trade in the off season. He deserves a chance somewhere. He's not gonna get it with me. Wiesblatt had a solid year. Defensively, some good players. Let's look at Jekimov's. Very solid. Played 70 games, 9-12, 50 wins. Should be ready next year. He's gonna replace Montembeau. Overall, happy with his season too. So, you know, I'm gonna sim the playoffs, and then I'll see you guys when we get to the awards. The Toronto Maple Leafs are your Stanley Cup champions, and the Lehigh Valley Phantoms are your Calder Cup champions. Our AHL team ended up losing in the conference finals to Lehigh Valley. They choked a 3-1 lead. Again, very, very tight games, you know. But they couldn't. Ended up losing in Game 7. Shots were like 40-21 for us. So, you know, I can't blame our Jekimovs or goalie either. You know, it's just a good game from both teams. So before we get into the awards and everything, I'm just curious to see what kind of stats our players had in the AHL when it came to the playoffs. I really just want to see Jekimovs, really. 914, very solid stats. Can't blame him. I'm happy with that. Now this is where we're going to look at the awards. First of all, let's look at the NHL playoff tree. Montreal lost in the first round. Philly, Columbus, Toronto. You guys can pause if you want. I'm still going to stay on here for a couple seconds. So, Toronto again won the finals against Colorado in 6. That's not too bad. Alright, let's see the awards now. Toronto, Stanley Cup, President's Trophy Edmonton. Clarence S. Campbell is Colorado. Prince of Wales, Toronto, of course. Hartros to McDavid. Hart to McDavid. Norris to Makar. Ladybing to McDavid. Calder to Jacob Fowler. Wow, a goalie with a Calder. Could we make it 2 goalies in a row next year with Jekimovs? We'll see. Conn Smythe Matthew Nyes. Sorry. Wow. Surprising. Vezina, Haskarov, M. Jennings, Shilovs, Bill Masterton, Darlene, Jack Adams, Farmer of the Philadelphia Flyers. The Selkies, Elias Lindholm. Ted Lindsay, Draisaitl, Maurice Richard, Draisaitl. So let's take a quick look at the stats for the whole league. I kind of forgot to look. Gonna be honest, I always forget. So let's see. McDavid 114, Draisaitl 113. So solid year for scoring. Dahlin 89 as a defenseman. That's nice. Could have won the Norris. Makar was just on a different level again, as always. Very solid year. Goalies. Jacob Fowler, I can see why he won the Calder. 917 as a rookie, as a starting goalie for Montreal. I mean, can't be too mad about that. It's kind of sad for Montreal because they have Jakub Dobesh as well. Let's just see. He only played 21 games out of 906, has an 85 overall. I hope he gets traded in the summer. He deserves it. He deserves to be a starter somewhere. So Fowler is going to be the guy clearly in Montreal. So not too much. You can't do too much about that. Not much you can do. That's the word I was looking for. So let's sim to the draft, to the draft lottery to be more precise, or actually before. AHL awards. I forgot. Calder Cup Lehigh Valley. We won basically all the regular season trophy. Our team. I want to see the stats for the players. Bankier. MVP was Triniev of our team. That's gonna help with his trade value. Best defenseman Blankenberg. Best goalie was Volikin. Damn. I wish Jekimovs could have won something. Oh. Basically he got the trophy for the lowest goals against average. It's not too bad. I'm just curious to see. He didn't win goalie of the year. What kind of stats did Volikin have? Because I know our team beat Laval in the final or in the playoffs, but Jekimovs, yeah, very tight race. I would say Volikin probably deserved it. Very, very tight race. Jekimovs was clearly number 2 in the voting. Just because of that goal against average. Jones was probably a close number 3. So yeah, let's sim to the draft lottery now. So we are going from 8 to 10. Rangers from 10 to 2. LA from 9 to 1. We get unlucky. Seattle got completely screwed as well. 2 years in a row we dropped by 2 picks. I'm not and like you look, LA went from 9 to 1. We were from 8 to 10. We were like probably a win away from picking first overall. It's like so unlucky, bro. I'm actually kind of mad at that. Damn, bro. Let's just advance day, see our retirements. Then I'm going to look at some draft interviews. Ryan Suter, Shea Weber, Gudis retires. Gudis retires, that's surprising. 81, he dropped a bit. Yeah, not a lot of regulars retiring. We're still early on the franchise mode, even in net, no one really. So let me take a look at some draft interviews. Ryan Suter is a coach. That's cool. So yeah, let me take a look at some of these draft interviews, and I'll see you guys when we get to the draft. Before we jump into the draft, I just want to look at our progress report really quickly. So Montevo is still 84, Maryline 81, D'Angelo stayed 84 for RO as well. Ellison is 82 now. Seems like our overall stayed pretty much the same. Alexander Holtz is now 87, Bjorkstrand still 85. Druin 87, McMahon is 85, Reichel dropped an overall. That's kind of ridiculous. Pelche is the same. Kakaniemi 86 now, Frederick 86, Hayden 84, Wright 84 still. Beecher is 80. In the system, it's mostly Yakimovs that I want to see. 80 overall, he should be ready. So weird growth from our goalie, or not just goalies but players this year. But yeah, so let's hop into the draft. I looked. I think I'm gonna have to try to trade up because there's not much. Oh, the Rangers at 2 are interested in trading. I'm gonna look if I can do something here. I'll see you guys if I can do something. So here I'm gonna offer Bobby McMahon 85 at 31. He's expendable for us. I don't mind. I'm offering as well with him Kotkaniemi of course, our 2C. I feel like he's another guy. They are interested in him. He has a lot of value. Shane Wright can take a spot on the second line. He's expendable too. And then I'm offering pick number 10. I could have probably gotten it done without the pick 10, or maybe with different assets, but I need to be realistic. You're getting a high elite here. You gotta pay. A 10th overall, an elite 2C, and an elite third liner, solid second liner. Like, I feel like that's a fair price to pay for a borderline generational talent. So let's offer that. Trade has been accepted. I definitely got fleeced technically value wise, but again, it was definitely worth it. So I'm happy with that. Again, right here, depending on what the Kings do, we're either getting Dupont or Joseph. I'm hoping we get Joseph because he's a Quebecer. It makes sense. I would love Dupont as well, but realistically, there's no way the Kings take Joseph over Dupont. So, and then let's see. The Jets are interested in giving up number 4. Seems like there could be some solid players at 4, but again, I don't. This guy could be very solid, but I don't see how we get it done. So let's just take a look at what LA is gonna do here. And they take Dupont. I franchise 78 overall, very solid. So let's not even waste time here. With the second overall pick in the 2027 NHL draft, the Quebec Nordiques are very proud to select from the St. John Sea Dogs of the QMJHL, Alexis Joseph. 79 overall high elite power forward. Oh, he's going to be a monster one day. His skating could use some work, very solid. Physically already, his shot is not too bad. His hands are going to become better as well. He's not really ready just yet, but again, he's just gonna be so good one day that I really don't mind. So let me just see if I can make some moves here, and I'll see you guys if I do something. So right here, I'm gonna try to make a deal with Winnipeg. I have to be quick here. So Alexander Holtz, Logan Stanley, and Trineyev. Again, it's a 4th overall pick. This is definitely not full and realistic. It's hard to get something realistic when you trade for a pick so early, but I feel like they're getting a solid 4th liner, a decent 4th liner, I guess. Decent future 4th liner, an elite bottom pairing guy in Stanley, and then a solid second liner that can help them win that cup that they've been looking for years. So let's just offer that. And the trade has been accepted. We got the deal done just in time. Again, I looked at their team, and it makes a lot of sense because Holtz was like, he's 87 at 25. He's still young, medium top 6. The Jets are so deep, okay? They're so deep. They have an elite first line, but they needed one more star on that second line, and this is what Holtz is bringing to the table for them. This is the kind of trade that makes sense. The Jets would overpay for a guy like Holtz. It just makes sense. I've seen it before in real life. Maybe realistically, probably slightly fleeced them, but it's not as bad as you would think. Right here, I'm really targeting this Ryder Wengrenowski. Yeah, that's his name, Ryder Wengrenowski. It's a right wing Guy Lafleur comparison. Guy Lafleur, Nordiques legend. The dude had 63 goals in 67 games in the U.S. 114 points. He just looks like a monster. So let's pick him, see what he is. 81 overall sniper, can take up a spot on the top 6 right away. Elite shot, not bad defensively, solid skater, solid physically. I like that pick. Alright, this draft is just so weak. I'm not interested in anything, so I'll just send a second round pick here to LA for a second round pick next year in the medium 7D signing rights, I guess. I think I'm gonna send all my picks away. There's just literally nothing. LA again here, gonna make a deal with them. They're offering a 2nd and a 6th for my pick next, or for this pick, Tampa Bay 2nd, should be late, that's fair. A 3rd this year, I'm just gonna send that away as well. Not even playing around, there's just really nothing. I just want future draft capital. The Oilers 3rd and 7th is not a bad deal here. Not a bad offer. I would be curious to look at one of those guys Montreal is offering up. Roher maybe. Sometimes these guys can become elite fourth liners, just out of curiosity. 78, is he solid defensively? Not bad. I mean, not bad. Papanekis. His puck skills are a little low. Koivu's puck skills are a little low. Honestly, I think I would do it for Roher. I don't think I've ever had him this year, and he seems like a solid player, so let's acquire Roher. Don't know if he's going to play right away this year, but I like that deal. Let's see what we can get for this third. Can we still get a pick from Edmonton? Let's just try manually. Since it's a little bit of a later third, let's try without the 7, just to be fair. Let's try Edmonton's third. Sure is accepted. Sorry, this is going to be a boring draft. I mean, not necessarily boring because we made some big moves at first, but 5th and a 6th for a third, that's not really realistic. A 2nd, yeah, okay, bro. I'm trying to be realistic here. I mean, for a third, it's not bad. It's actually pretty realistic usually for a third. It's a late third. For a 2nd, though, no chance. Like, I would say realistically, probably like, I don't really want to make a trade with Montreal. I mean, it's just picks, I guess. They're offering me a 2nd, so I'll just go. And I'll do, realistically, I'll just do like a 4th. I feel like that's fair. So, let's just take a quick look at what the first round looked like, and then I'll just send to free agency. So, solid pick by the Kraken at 3. They did drop. Would have been nice to get a franchise player in Dupont, which would have literally been their first like actual franchise player, but they're still gonna get a future elite first liner. We get a solid pick at 4, Ottawa a solid pick at 5, Grinder at 6 for Carolina. That was such a weird pick. I always laugh when I see that. Utah with another forward. They always draft forwards. Very solid defenseman right here at 8 with the Capitals. I had my eyes on maybe this guy, but again, he went early. He was only a medium 4. Sharov was solid. Good pick by the Flames at 14. But again, he's only a medium 4, so what's his ceiling? I don't know. Solid pick by the Flyers there at 26. Very solid pick. 2 solid picks again at the end of the first round. Projects, but could become something. Early 2nd round was solid, then it kind of fell off. So let's just sim to the end of the draft, and I'll see you guys when we get to free agency most likely, or honestly, let's just see. We're in the re-sign stage. There's definitely a couple guys we need to re-sign or release depending, so let's just take a quick look at that right now. So expiring, Bjorkstrand is going to be on the move. Grizzlick is going to be gone too. Blankenberg, depends. 2-way contract? I would love to bring him back. Let's offer 900k for 3 years. AHL. Kupari for the AHL would love to bring back. Solid as well. Brock McGinn, we're going to release. Sabrango for the AHL, I would love to bring him back. Let's offer him $1 million on a 2-way contract. Ian Mitchell is going to get released. Killen Haddison, would love to bring him back for the AHL. Very solid player. Let's offer 900k. Should say yes. Richard, we're going to release. Going to sign someone else. Holofson, we're going to release. Poyat, I'm willing to release now at this point. Shaw, I'm going to release. This Kuhlman guy, signing rights. I just don't see the point. And then goalie-wise, Montebo, I mean, I'm not going to re-sign. Hopefully you get the bag in free agency. You deserve it. You had a good year. Grubauer and Riddick are going to get released too. So, and then unsigned prospect-wise, we're definitely going to sign Wayne Gronowski. He's definitely going to play. Joseph, honestly, I think I'm just gonna let him dominate the QMJHL for one more year. I just don't want to rush him. We can sign a veteran for now. Dagenet, I don't think he's ready just yet. Rubrek as well. Villeneuve either. Telquist, I mean, probably gonna leave him in Europe for one more year. I guess it is a project. Alright, so let me sim to free agency, and I'll see you guys when we get there. And yeah, Kupari signed. So I have made some offers. I've signed one guy because he signed right away, so I'm gonna show you guys. So the guy I signed that signed right away is Blake Coleman. 1 year, 2 million. Planning on playing on my second line. Only 82 overall, but he's got solid individual attributes. He's still got speed, so I think he'll be good for a year. I think he's a solid fit. There wasn't a lot of power forwards anyway, so not much I could have done. And then in terms of approach, let's start with goalie. Solgaard, backup HL goalie. Defensively, I'm trying to bring back Emil Handre, who I traded to Winnipeg, of course, last draft. 2026 draft, I mean. Trying to bring him back. I offered him 3 years at 3.5. Gave him, I think, a 9 or 12 team modified no trade clause. Trying to bring Tyler Tucker for a year, I think at 2.5 to play on the second pair. And then on the left wing, trying to bring in Jeff Skinner. He would play first line next to Drouin and Frederick. Solid stats, a little bit low on speed, but I think he'll be good for a year. I think I offered him 1 year at 3.5, if I'm not mistaken. He's not super interested in the organization though. And then Nick Roy, offered him 2 years at 4 million. Hopefully he can come in and play on the fourth line, or third line, sorry, where Mercer was basically. So, and then coaching staff wise, I'm trying to revamp my scouting staff. And then coaching wise, I made one offer. We'll see if it happens, but I'll leave the surprise for when I get an answer. And I present to you the new head coach of the Quebec Nordiques, Martin Saint-Louis. Patrick Roy was getting old, wanted more of a goalie coach job. That's what I offered. I demoted him to goalie coach basically. And Martin Saint-Louis was a free agent. Montreal decided not to renew his contract because they haven't been as good as they were hoping recently. And I jumped on the opportunity. I wanted a Quebec coach. He's still pretty young at 52. I think that's a good fit for us. Nick Roy decided to go with the Islanders. Emil Handre signed. That's good. Tyler Tucker signed. Solgaard signed. Jeff Skinner is looking for a consistent playoff team, but he's still a free agent, so I could definitely make another offer. I'm just kind of curious to see what Nick Roy signed for. Because I offered him 300k more than what he wanted, so initially. Let's just take a quick look. Nick Roy. Okay, so he definitely don't play for the money. He was probably very interested in the Islanders. So let me just see what I can do with Jeff Skinner and see what I can get as a replacement for Nick Roy. Alright, so I was able to sign 2 guys. So Jeff Skinner is officially a member of our team. 1 year at 3.5. I was able to charm him into liking the organization a bit more, so that was good. And then in terms of Nick Roy replacement, I was able to sign Anthony Beauvillier, 1 year, 3 million as well. Solid deal. I feel like with his stats, can be a lead defensively. Not too bad offensively. Should do the job just at least for a year. So now that I'm done with free agency, I'm gonna sign a bunch of HL guys after that, but I'm not gonna bother you guys with that because there's no point. Let's just take a quick look at who signed where, and I might just sim like an extra 5 days because there's still a lot of free agents actually. So let me just do that real quick. Alright, so I simmed until June 10th. So let's just take a quick look at who signed where. So Batherson is now a member of the Buffalo Sabres. 3 years, 7.79, not too bad. Brendan Carlo is now a member of the Vancouver Canucks. 3 years at 8.5. Ooh, that's rough. Bjorkstrand, 3 years at 5.275 with Colorado. Solid deal. Teravainen is now a member of Colorado as well. 3 years, 6.285. Lehkonen, member of the Rangers, really solid contract there. 4 years, 4.725. Cizikas, very solid contract for LA. A steal, I would say. Brent Burns, big contract with the Rangers. Only 1 year at least. Jason Zucker, solid deal for Dallas. Ovi is now a member of the Dallas Stars as well. 1 year, 2.5 million. I kind of wanted to sign him instead of Jeff Kinner, but that speed kind of scared me. I feel like he might drop to top 9 and drop to low or high 70s by the end of the year, so I didn't want to risk it. Lusterinen, solid deal for Pittsburgh. Malkin is now a member of the New Jersey Devils. Solid deal as well. Ty Hamberson. Whoa, nice growth by Hamberson. 4 years, 7.49. Rough contract by Washington. I don't know why they did that. Then some other names you can see on the screen. Not too bad. Seeing some good names in there. Dano is not a member of the Panthers. Cool. Any big contracts that we are kind of surprised by, maybe? Doesn't seem like it. Now let's look goalie wise. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy hell. What is San Jose doing, bro? I know you won the Vezina, but come on, bro. Oh my god. That's rough. Dobesh stayed in Montreal 2 years at 5.15. That's not great. Montembeau is not a member of the Blues. Solid deal for him. He's gonna be behind Ingram though. I don't know why he signed there. Just wanna go take a quick look at their team. I'm just curious, did Ingram lose overalls? Because I was saying they were gonna regret that contract they gave him, but because they have Binnington as well. Ingram is now an 83. Yep. What did I say? Okay, I will say though, he had a solid year. I don't see how he drops to 83 though. Like, he should have dropped to like 86, bro, from 89 to 86. That's still a very, very solid year. The game kind of screwed them there. They need to fix that, by the way. Because, like, every time you have a guy that's going to have, like, 2 really good years, he's going to jump for, like, 82, from 82 to, like, high 80s. And then because of one bad year, oh, he's back to what he was 3 years ago. But, it's not really realistic, bro. Yeah, not great. And they have 4 goalies. That's just weird. Let me just show you guys real quick what my plan is for next year, line-wise, just to give you a quick, idea of what it's gonna look like. Jekimovs and Marilainen gonna play quite a bit, I would assume. I don't know if they're gonna split starts or Jekimov. It's gonna depend on how he plays. Rousseau, Sogard in terms of goalies for the AHL. Ferraro, D'Angelo is gonna stay. Then we're gonna have Lundqvist with Tucker, then Andre with Hellison. Pretty simple. Then we're going to have Blankenberg, Sabrango in the AHL, Haddison with Pocket Bisson, then Jet Hu. I'm going to have to sign LFD for the AHL as well. Then, let me just write it down. Then forward-wise, so we're going to have, again, take that with a grain of salt. There could be some more growth, could be slight tweaks, but basically right now, Drouin, Frederick, Skinner is my plan. Then Shane Wright with Coleman and Wayne Granowski. Then I would have Hayton with Beauvillier and Reichel. Then I would have Pelletier with Beecher and most likely Wiesblatt. And I would let Roher dominate 1 year in the AHL. Then, yeah, AHL-wise, it's going to look like Poulain with Simoneau and Stranges. Then we're gonna have Kupari on the third 3C, Alauco 4C, Yamamoto third line, Roher third line. Yamamoto might be fourth line actually. Roher third line. Gonna have Baines third line as well. Misak second line. So I'm gonna have to sign a couple guys, but overall it's gonna look like a solid team. So I think this is gonna be it for the episode. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share to your friends. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.